seen the other two videos, I suggest going back to those to really make sure that you're using your building blocks. So my name's Gretchen McCarthy from Balance to the Core, and today we're going to work flexion. Okay, so there's some elements we want to talk about as we do flexion. So flexion means any time that you sort of curve the spine concentrically. So when you do any sort of flexion, the natural breath pattern is to exhale as you do the work. So you'll notice in Pilates, everything uses breath. So it's really important to breathe properly as you're doing your work. So normally I start with breath in the beginning principles, but for video purposes, that would have been a little boring to just do a breath work. So I figured let's add it to the flexion part so that you really can feel what an exhale feels like as you work, okay? So we now know neutral spine, neutral pelvis, and the transversus abdominis. So I want you to add those two elements as you're doing your flexion, and that's going to make it super hard. So hopefully you'll feel much more challenged when you do the regular basic exercises of Pilates, okay? So head on over to your mat and lie down. So when you lie down, I want you to find neutral spine. So you have that natural little curve of your low back. You have your pelvis, which is neutral. And then we're tapping into that transversus abdominis to hold everything stable. Flexion, okay. So what you want to really focus on in flexion is that your pelvis doesn't move, okay? So just try one flexion. So take your hands behind your head, and you want to be careful your elbows aren't going out to the side where your chest is extended, your upper back is extended. You want to be able to see your elbows in your peripheral vision, okay? And again, keep the forehead and chin parallel with the floor and the ceiling. So find your neutral here, take an inhale, and then your exhale, lift up. So how many of you feel your low back jammed into the mat? Or your chin jammed into the chest? All right, so take a look at what happened. Very common is to get when that low back into the mat and your pelvis shifting as you lift, and that just sort of pops the abs. Yes, your abs start to burn and you feel like you're doing all this work and you do your 100 sit-ups, but it's doing nothing for you except of jamming all your organs and just flexing and making things burn but getting like much bulkier, okay? So now let's focus on neutral pelvis, transversus, okay? So take an inhale to prepare. Start to exhale. As you exhale, feel the breath help support you as you lift, and keep the pelvis neutral. Keep that spine neutral, and then lower it on down. As you flex up, you also want to focus on lifting sort of the chest. So like curling at the middle of your chest, like right here. And that's going to lift everything properly, and then lower it down. Because if you just concentrate on your belly lifting, it's very easy to jam the chin. But if you focus on flexing right at the mid-chest, keeping everything neutral, it's going to feel like work, and then lower it down. Often you'll hear like a fist distance between your chin and chest. That's because we just don't want you jamming. But if you really focus on flexing at your chest, that's not going to happen so much. It also allows the back of your body to really reach and curl over, and you're not crunching everything in. 5 more. Use your exhale as you flex. Use your transversus, so wrap everything in like a corset as you flex up. Keep your tailbone heavy so you remain neutral pelvis. So adding a third element is a lot for our brains, which is why Pilates is a practice. You can't really concentrate on everything all at once. So you can do the same exercises 50 times in a row, concentrate on a different principle or element, and the workout becomes totally different. I want you to hold last one up there for 1. Hold it there. Oh, now look at the tops of your knees, look at your pelvis, and really see if you can hold it stable as you pulse. Concentrate on flexing at the chest. Keeping the neutral spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Now tell me, didn't you feel work going on and you're not jamming, but you feel even better. It feels almost leaner as you're doing it. Okay, so now we want to add a little leg element to it. So take your hands behind your head again. All right, now take an inhale, prepare. On your exhale, bring one leg to tabletop. Neutral pelvis as you lift the other leg, and then squeeze everything together. Now what I want you to do is take an inhale, prepare, exhale, lift up, but keep your neutral spine. Don't let those knees come into you because then you jammed your back into the mat. Keep that neutral spine. Keep flexing at the mid-chest. And all we're going to do is reach one leg away and then the other. So keep switching and just hold the lower body stable as you're holding that flexion at mid-chest and you're constantly trying to lift it higher without losing any alignment. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend both knees and lower down. Work, right? Oh yeah. All right. So now we're going to do a double leg stretch, and this is like a quintessential Pilates exercise. Find neutral pelvis. Lift and flex at the chest, but don't lose your neutral pelvis. All right, now hold that there. Hold the flexion. And now you're going to reach the arms and legs away from you, and then you're going to pull it back in. So I don't want you to see you reaching so far back that you're like losing all that alignment. Just keep the arms sort of by the ears a little bit. And if you want to reach the legs straight up to the ceiling, you can do that. If you do that, the arms go up to the ceiling too. So they do the same thing. Or you reach away and you bend, okay? 5 more wherever you're working. 5, you know what you're working at this point. I'll stop talking, just concentrate. Inhale. Exhale, flex at the chest. One more. And then hug it on in. Good job. All right, raise it up. That was actually nice because I didn't force the 100. You thought I was going to do the 100, didn't you? Next time. All right, okay, so now we're going to do some side flexion. So I want you to get some mermaid legs here. So now if this is tough on you, if your hips are feeling really tight, remember what I talked about to get neutral pelvis, you want to elevate yourself. So you elevate yourself on a mat or cushions or anything like some yoga blocks or something, and that's going to help alleviate the hips. So sitting up nice and tall, keeping your pelvis neutral. So you want to really push your hips down. You're going to lean over to one side and you're going to make a triangle right in your arm and really push your opposite sit bone down. It's going to want to come with you. Don't let it come with you, okay? You want to really keep your pelvis neutral. So what you're going to do is we're doing side flexion. So you're going to go over and you're going to keep that opposite sit bone down and you're going to find a stretch here. What I'm doing is I'm stretching this side of my body, but I'm also stretching my underside of the body. So I'm not collapsing into it. I'm finding length in both sides of my body as I flex sort of at my mid ribs. Because if I flex at my waist, that's when I sort of lose it a little bit. But if I think of flexing sort of at my mid ribs, that helps. And then I come back up, and I'm now going to flex the other way for a reverse stretch. You'll probably feel tighter this way, but just stretch it out and stretch the underside of your body as well. So try that again. Find that triangle, your opposite sit bone down, and stretch over. Keep pulling into neutral pelvis as you flex at the mid ribs. So those mid ribs. And really stretch the bottom side of your waist as well. Up and over the other way. And release. So let's try the other side. You'll feel definitely difference in the sides. In Pilates, what we're trying to do is we're working towards balancing the body so that both sides feel equal. But who knows if that ever happens. But the more you practice, it will. All right, so take your hands into triangle. Really try to keep pelvis nice and neutral, and then up and over that imaginary beach ball. My hip wants to lift on this side, so really it takes a lot of work. Having my kids, I held them on the same side all the time, so I got wacky out of alignment after that. So it's been a lot of work trying to get back in alignment. And then come on up. So if you favor one side a lot, like picking groceries up or holding things, you'll notice these are great exercises to keep balancing the body. And when you balance the body, you're preventing injury. Your body's getting more efficient. So something as simple as this, you're going to see results from. It's going to start to lean you out. Keep pushing your opposite sit bone down as you're going over that imaginary beach ball. And then up and over. And I'm a talker. I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to keep you cues to think about. I just love this stuff so much. And then come to center. Woo! All right, good job. So that's flexion. We did forward flexion and we did side flexion. So hopefully you made a little bit more connection in your body. When you're adding those 3 elements, it's a little bit tougher to think about all the things. So you just imagine when the other elements come, how much there is to think about. But it's fun, and that's why I'm here for you. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you like this channel, please subscribe. Would love to have you part of my group of people. And then if you want more full workouts, I do have a monthly workout program, so you can check it out at GretchenMcCarthy.com, and your first 2 weeks are free, so you can check it out to see if you like it. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Take care.